Previously on Brilliant Minds.
Who is that?
This is John Doe. His toe. It's moving.
I don't think this man is in a coma. It appears that our John Doe is suffering from locked-in syndrome.
Did you see that? Maybe she's speaking his language.
Ты был совсем один.
This neurotech could translate his thoughts into written and spoken word in real time.
Oliver Wolf is not a team player.
You won't regret changing your mind for taking a chance on Wolf.
I'm taking a chance on you.
Your John Doe is in the Intermind study.
What? Are you serious? Since the beginning of civilization, we have looked up to the stars for answers. To guide us in the dark, give us hope. We project meaning onto the cosmos, myths and narratives that help us understand our purpose. To be ourselves, we must have ourselves. Possess, or in some cases repossess, our life stories. A primal need to maintain our identity. Every patient has a story. This is Roman's. Roman? Look up if you can still hear me.
Роман, посмотрите вверх, если вы все еще меня слышите.
Great. Okay, so the electrode will read signals from the parts of the brain that control your face, and your mouth, your tongue, and your throat, so you can communicate in real time.
Электрод считывает сигналы мозга, которые позволяют вам общаться.
If you understand, look up.
Если вы понимаете, посмотрите вверх.
Because this is brain surgery, there are risks. Bleeding, stroke, infection.
С операцией на головном мозге могут быть риски.
Roman, do you have any questions? Look up for yes, down for no.
Роман, у вас есть вопросы? Посмотрите вверх, если да, и вниз, если нет.
Do you want to move forward, implanting the brain-computer interface?
Вы хотите имплантировать мозго-компьютерный интерфейс?
Once more, to be certain.
Еще раз, для верности.
Okay. Let's give Roman a voice.
The story is worse than we thought. 9 months, 12 hospitals, 5 long-term care facilities.
When Roman landed at the first hospital, they thought he was having a seizure.
It wasn't a seizure at all, but the early stages of a pontine stroke.
Causing movements that looked like a generalized tonic-clonic seizure.
Right, and that error meant they put him on propofol.
Which is why no one noticed he was locked in. They sedated him into oblivion to treat seizures he never had.
And when he could have woken up, he got caught up in a cycle of infections. Wound up on the vent long-term after his second bout with pneumonia.
Strong work. Nursing notes, meds, diagnoses, some correct, some tragically incorrect. Nothing on his history.
There's zero on the internet about Roman Fedorov. Not to perpetuate stereotype, but maybe he's a spy.
It's definitely on my differential.
Somebody, somewhere, has to be looking for him. Let's find out who.
Oliver, I hear congratulations are in order.
Oh, tell Dr. Pierce. She's the one who knew about the trial.
I hear under 100 patients have had this device placed ever. Families often decline these types of operations, so it's actually lucky that he doesn't have one.
Well, we don't know that. That's why we're doing this.
Just getting this technology here at Bronx General, it's going to change things for our hospital.
It's going to change things for our patient.
I'm just trying to say, as your mother, not your boss, I'm proud of you. I know your father would be too.
So, starting off with a fun one. A BMI implantation for the Intermind clinical trial.
Cookie cutter craniotomy, I assume.
Single burr hole by perforator, separate dura fully, and a 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter flap should be adequate. Okay, if no one has any concerns.
I'd like to be in the room.
Do you know what happens when a neurologist finds their way into an OR? You get a lot more talking. This is your idea in my hands. I assume you know where to find scrubs.
Do you mind if I play some music?
Final dural tack up.
Ready to play
place the first array. We're at his motor cortex. Our spot is right.
The blood vessel sitting across the gyrus. Should we go medial to that, or
We?
you?
Actually, I'd go with lateral. That's the highest yield location.
That makes sense.
Arm, please.
Oh, smaller than a baby aspirin, with 100 minute electrode sensors that will detect brain cell electrical activity. It's so small, but it's so huge.
You done?
Sorry.
Ready to implant the sensor. Let me wait for the brain to move toward me. And arm.
Они все знают. Да я не знаю как, но они все знают. Мне опасно здесь оставаться, так что я поехал. Выходи! Сейчас!
Neuro exam is stable. Vitals are good. Roman is on track for a healthy recovery.
Nice work, Dr. Nichols.
Now that the device is in, are we installing apps into his mind?
Sometimes when I close my eyes, I see Candy Crush.
We're like calibrating the decoder. I'm showing Roman words on a screen, and then he's saying them out loud in his head.
So his brain signals correspond to different words.
Like sign language with neurons.
We're reading his body signals as he tries to speak.
Which, after the training, will allow him to generate words of his own and sentences.
And it'll translate from Russian to English and vice versa?
Yes, I've programmed a tool for just that purpose. The initial phase of training protocol is complete.
So now what? Do I just...
Talk to him, just like you would any other patient.
Hi, Roman. Is there something you'd like to say?
This is worse than the 3 dots when someone's texting you.
Is the language model working?
Maybe check the cable connections.
He hasn't used words in a really long time. He might just need a second.
Wait. Something's coming through. Scratch my nose.
Okay.
He says thank you.
Roman, can you hear me?
I could always hear you. Now, I can understand you. It's nice to officially meet you, Dr. Wolf.
You know my name.
You brought me a fern, played me Bach, though I prefer Stravinsky. Got me the microchip. Of course I remember your name.
Well, it's nice to officially meet you too, Roman. Truth be told, I don't know anything about you. How did you get here?
I came here from Chechnya. I didn't have a choice. I had to leave. It was exciting, but scary to be all alone. I knew some English.
Hey, watch where you're going, idiot!
Americans speak so fast. Sometimes I felt like I was living in a dream, seeing things I'd only heard about my whole life. Found comfort in small pleasures. We have better shashlik in Russia, but you have better pizza. Eventually, I found a job that paid cash. I needed to send money home and save enough to hire a lawyer and apply for asylum. It wasn't easy, but
$10 an hour.
I didn't have options.
It's the best I can do.
My boss gave me an old bike. It was the fastest, cheapest way to get around. I rode everywhere. Coney Island, the Brooklyn Bridge, the East River. I loved America in those moments. No one knew I didn't speak the language or that I wasn't supposed to be here. On my bike, I belonged. I was connected to the city. May I ask you a question now?
You must have so many.
Just one, actually. Will I ever get better?
Given the amount of time that's passed since your stroke, I don't expect that you'll regain any movement. But that doesn't mean you can't live a rich life.
And tube in my throat?
We've tried to help you breathe without a ventilator, but unfortunately your lungs are too damaged from multiple infections. Roman, is there anyone I can call? Family, a friend, maybe? Anyone?
Can't believe we did it.
Oh, so you doubted me.
You? Never. Dr. Wolf, however...
All right, that's enough. He came through.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
I was thinking I would love to bring some investors to meet with Roman. It's important that we show success outside of our research program and clinical circle, show that we're no longer in the realm of science fiction.
Absolutely. This technology is incredible. It'll open up an entire population of patients we're unable to communicate with verbally. Patients whose mental health is an afterthought or completely disregarded.
I never even considered the psych perspective. An oversight that could perhaps be avoided if we had a psychiatrist on our board.
Good evening, Roman. You looking good, man. Fresh.
My mother would tease I look like Rasputin when I'd forget to shave.
Damn, man, not Rasputin.
It's funny the things that make you feel human. Feeling clean skin, physical touch. That day you gave me a shave. I needed it. I needed to remember that I was still alive.
I'm not supposed to say stuff like this, but I wish we could do more. I'm so sorry, man.
Please don't be. I could never repay you for what you've already done.
Don't even sweat it.
I have one request, if I may. Been thinking about it for a while, and I didn't have a way to say it before, but now I can. And I'm certain. I don't want to live like this anymore.
Are we sure that's what he meant? John Doe wants to die?
His name is Roman. And yes, however, I've assured him there is much more that we can do, and we will exhaust every option.
We've projected onto him for weeks. Thoughts, desires, a name? Now he's telling us who he is, and for better or worse, what he wants.
I thought assisted suicide was illegal in New York.
It's not assisted suicide. It would be palliative withdrawal of mechanical ventilation. We're not actively ending Roman's life. We're just removing the machines that have been prolonging it.
It is an ethical gray zone for some, but it is definitely legal.
Would Roman's death impact Dr. Gadsden's clinical trial?
The implant's meant to enable communication. On that metric, Roman's already a success. Mortality also matters, but it's not mortality related to a device malfunction. Either way, that's not a good enough reason to keep Roman alive against his will.
Okay, but what was the purpose of the surgery if Roman wanted to die all along?
To restore his autonomy. Sometimes that means giving a patient the ability to make a decision you might not agree with.
So y'all are all cool with this? We can't just give up.
Roman just learned of his full prognosis for the first time. We have to give him a chance to come to terms with it and imagine a new life, one he actually wants. Leave no stone unturned. Find a reason for Roman to want to live.
Careful. I was the captain of my high school chess team.
Check. You're out of practice. Sure you want to do that? Try again. I like second chances.
You said you came to America seeking asylum. Why? Roman.
Embrace the quiet, Doctor. It is the key to chess and other things. Checkmate. You're on your phone a lot.
I'm anxious avoidant. And so are you, it seems. You didn't answer my question. Why did you leave Chechnya?
Is anything broken? Do you need an ambulance? I'm okay. I'm calling 911. No! No police. I had $500. No papers. They told me I was safe until my asylum appointment, but I didn't know. What I did know, I could never go back to Chechnya. Those were my last thoughts before everything went black.
You didn't answer my question. Why did you leave Chechnya?
For love.
Big news. Roman isn't alone. Jacob, go to the warehouse by the pier where he worked, see if anybody has stopped by to look for him. Erica, check out his old apartment. I've texted you the address. Van, call immigration, social services. I've already started a deep dive online. Ready, Alex?
Рома? Ты меня слышишь? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Alex. Ром. Ром. Мне очень жаль. Я искал тебя, Мне очень жаль. Пожалуйста, скажи что-нибудь.
Почему ты так долго?
That's why he came to America.
It's illegal to be gay in Chechnya. Friends and family turn their loved ones in, and those suspected are persecuted, abducted, even killed.
Okay, let's give them some privacy so they can catch up without an audience. How did you two meet?
In school. We both loved astronomy and dessert. This one is not bad. When I got here, I checked every hospital, police station, shelters. I searched for Roman every day. I thought I might never see him again. No one knew where he was or what happened, but you do.
We pieced it together. Roman was thrown from his bike. His head must have gone forward and back very quickly. We call it whiplash. At first, he thought he was okay, but then his neck started to hurt. He didn't go to the hospital because he was afraid. He thought he'd be fine, but the injury caused a clot in an artery that supplies blood and oxygen to the brainstem. Roman had a massive stroke. The parts of the brain responsible for thought were unharmed, but because he was almost entirely paralyzed, no one knew he was still awake, still himself.
So if he had gone to the doctor after the accident...
I know you've heard his decision.
Roman can be quite stubborn when his mind is made up.
Well, if we are able to convince him otherwise, he would be able to leave the hospital. Then the question would become, does he return to long-term care, or does he go home with you?
I would love him home.
I want to make sure you understand what this means. There will be nursing help, but a tremendous responsibility will fall to you between his tracheostomy tube, the ventilator,
I would do it. I will do it. It was my idea for us to come here. I'm the one who speaks English. I was always planning to care for Roman. It looks different now.
As we say in our country, Alex is a prince among men. You're very lucky.
Very. Not a lot of options where we come from.
If only I had the same excuse. Dr. Nichols is taking Alex through the post-op dressing changes and troubleshooting the device. My interns are working with the respiratory therapists to train him on suctioning your tracheotomy tube and responding to ventilator alarms. And Dr. Dang is searching for first-floor apartments to move you home.
No, I told you, Dr. Wolf. I don't want that.
But Alex wants to care for you. He understands what is required. You came here to be together. He still wants that. Don't you?
Before you, all I wanted was to be released from the misery of being an able mind trapped in a useless body. I made my decision then. But in between, you afforded me so much. You gave me my voice back. You gave me my love back. And now, I need you to give me one more thing.
I'm reading about these experimental technologies that I think could make...
As much as I appreciate your efforts, I don't want this version of life. Not for me, or for Alex.
Why did you ask me not to leave you if you knew you wanted to go?
I had been passed from hospital to hospital, doctor to doctor. I needed someone to stop, look at me, and listen.
Who is that?
Yes, this is John Doe. No ID, no medical history, no family. Transferred from hospital to hospital every time he gets a new infection. Now he's ours.
You saw me when no one else did, which is ironic because they tell me you can't see faces.
And because it seems like you don't see me at all anymore.
Wolf, put yourself in Roman's shoes. You'll never walk, talk, swim, or obsessively care for a fern again.
That's not a fern.
What would you do?
Adapt. And Roman can too. Many locked-in patients report being relatively happy across multiple studies.
But Roman's not just dealing with locked in, he's vent-dependent, which is an acceptable quality of life for some, but not for him.
He must be depressed. Can you talk to him, assure him that there are other paths that we can explore?
I know you want to save his life, Wolf. You're attached.
That's not a bad thing.
It's a beautiful thing. That's what makes you the doctor you are. Roman came here seeking the ultimate freedom and ended up in the ultimate prison. You've done so much, more than any other doctor would. But not every patient can be saved, Wolf. Not every patient wants to be saved.
Can you talk to him and try, please, for me?
Yes. But if he has capacity, it's not up to us to stop it. Why would we give Roman a voice just to ignore it?
Alex was supposed to come first. He planned it out, but things changed. At the time, it scared me.
And how do you feel about it now?
In a strange way, I feel content. I have everything I wanted.
Many people with locked-in syndrome report happiness, and they go on to live for decades, particularly those with dedicated caretakers.
Good for them. I'm at peace with my decision.
Your ability to reframe the narrative, it's quite impressive.
Had a lot of practice and time to think. Coming to America, taking a leap of faith to create a life with Alex, having him with me in the end, that's my story.
And what about Alex?
Alex will be okay. He'll fall in love again, write a new story for both of us.
Are there any innovations we could try? Robotic limbs, exoskeleton, clinical trials. I read about a study with a guy.
I don't think another clinical trial is what Roman's asking for, Wolf.
I want to be a good doctor. I want to see his perspective, but we've come so far just to let him go. I can't, not with him.
What you do best is allow your patients to see the world the way they want to. You honor who they are, what they choose. Even if you disagree. I admire that about you. Yes. You know how many lives I've saved only to have patients relegated to states they find unacceptable? States I would find unacceptable? The decision he made is hard. If we're good doctors, we honor it.
We'll administer morphine to make sure you're comfortable when we decrease the ventilator settings. And then when we take you off the vent, we'll give you more meds to ensure you're not anxious or struggling to breathe. Then you'll pass away. Okay. Would you like to speak with a chaplain or a spiritual advisor?
No.
All right. Just one more.
You're disappointed in me.
Not at all. I guess I used to imagine who you were. What you wanted, what your life would look like after everything. And it wasn't this. Is there anything we can do to support you in your final moments?
Remember that day you and Dr. Nash took me outside?
If there's any psilocybin in the system, they won't be able to participate in the sleep study, so, but thank you. Yeah.
We need to take Roman home.
To Chechnya? I suppose a med flight's not out of the question, but...
Not home. A home. He needs to get out of the hospital before tomorrow
For when he leaves us.
He doesn't want to die in the hospital.
Okay, ostrich ferns don't particularly like to be trampled, Dr. Marcus.
Copy that.
This,
No.
Dr. Wolf, do you ever let anyone in?
You're here. I let you all in. I'm regretting it with each passing moment.
He meant in your heart.
Thank you for bringing me here. It's much better than the hospital. Very homey.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. It was on my swimming route. It reminded me of my childhood.
I used to love to swim. When I was young, my father and I would go to this crystal blue alpine lake in the summers called Kazinoy Am.
Sounds much nicer than the Hudson. That's what my father taught me.
Do you see your father often? Me neither. Even before I left, we agreed on nothing but our love for each other and swimming.
I find opposite perspectives and mutual respect make a good team.
You know who makes a great team? You and the tall doctor.
Carol's actually not that tall. She's just obsessed with high heels.
No, the surgeon. He likes you.
Dr. Nichols? Yeah. No, okay. I mean, I think you just caught us on a good day.
Take it from a locked-in patient. There is no time like the present.
You're doing the right thing. I hope you know that.
$200 billion trillion. That's how many stars there are in the universe. Whether you're in Grozny or New York, we all see the same incandescence. To ancient cultures, these stars were alive and animate. Their celestial bodies of light every bit as real as our earthly ones of flesh. That's why they named them Capella, Pollux, Murifac, my favorite Vega and Altair. In Chinese folklore, they represent forbidden lovers who were separated by the galaxies. But in spite of their great distance, they always stayed connected by their hearts.
Think about it. There must be a higher love down in the
Я люблю тебя.
and the stars above.
Я буду любить тебя всегда.
Life is wasted time. is real for me. There must be someone who's feeling for me. Things look so bad everywhere, and this whole world was fair. We walk blind, we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Where's this higher love I've been thinking of?
Remember those investors I scheduled to meet Roman? All eager to see the successful implantation of the device that they funded?
Look, Simon.
Imagine their surprise when I had to cancel the visit last minute because your nurse just informed me that Roman is dead. This is exactly why I didn't want to work with Wolf. And now I can see that you're just as reckless. That device was created to save lives, not end them.
It was what was best for the patient. Surely you wouldn't want him to exist purely for research.
His death is on the record as a mortality within the first 30 days of the device's implantation. Do you know how bad that looks? Our goal is to revolutionize many lives, not just one.
You gave Roman a voice as his doctors. We respected it. Isn't that a revolution in itself?
I had thought that this was the start of a prolific partnership with Bronx General. Clearly, I was wrong.
If you are here because I took Roman out of the hospital, please do me a favor and just file an official grievance because I really don't feel like talking about it.
I'm checking in to make sure you're okay.
What? No, I'm fine. I need to start my rounds.
Well, before you leave, I just have to say that I'm surprised. After all you did for Roman, that you just seemed to give up so easily.
There was nothing easy about what we did. It was the single hardest decision I've ever made.
Well, it's just not like you, Oliver. I thought that you would have tried harder to convince him to stay alive, to give it a chance.
You think I gave up? You think I didn't try hard enough? Let's talk about giving up.
Oliver.
Whenever Dad was in a bad place, you just spent more time at work. When you knew he couldn't be fixed, you just stopped trying. You let him become a shell of a man, and then you left him. But you think I should try harder?
After all these years, you're still trying to fix him. And it doesn't matter how many patients you treat, honey. It's not going to bring him back. And the sooner that you deal with this, the sooner you will stop making decisions that primarily serve you.
What I did was for Roman. His choice, not mine.
A choice that hurt this technology. Other patients out there who could benefit from this.
I will always focus on the patient right in front of me.
Huh. I'm glad you have that privilege.
You and I are never going to see eye to eye, Mom. If you want to terminate me because of that, then do it. That's on you.
Hey, Erica. You holding up?
If stuff like that comes with a job, I'm glad we have each other.
I've been wanting to ask you something. And I could be totally off base here, but the past couple days, I've been getting a sense that you have feelings. Good ones. Big ones.
You felt that? Of course you did. You're right.
I am. I do.
Please don't tell Jacob.
I was distracted and in traffic I didn't feel it when the earthquake happened, but it really got me thinking. Were you out drinking? Were you in the living room chilling, watching television? It's been a year now. Think I figured out how to let you go and let communication down. I know you know you weren't down for forever, and it's fine. I know you know we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine. But if the world was ending, you'd come over, right?
I always had this wish that after I moved to New York, I would see Alex on the street. He smiles at me, I run toward him, and we kiss. Right there, in the middle of everything, and no one would look at us or care because we were free. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just wish I could have given that to you and Alex.
You did. My question to you is, what are you waiting for?
No, there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you come over, right? You come over, you come over, you come over, right? If the world was ending, you come over, right?
Greg, move your head.